Hi guys, beautiful day here out in Nashville. Just wanted to kind of give an update on the garden and some exciting things that are happening, as well as some new features or plants that I've added to my garden. If you're new here, I'm Tammy. This is my channel, Gardening with Tammy. Just kind of wanted to jump in here and show you guys some of the stuff that I'm growing that I'm really excited about. So again, I don't know how many of you went and watched any of, sorry, I was eating chips before I made this video. I guess I should have probably made sure that was not on there. Sorry. I'm human. So just wanted to like show you guys what I'm growing, some exciting things added to the garden, but I'm so super excited about all of it, mainly because it's all flourishing. Now if you don't know, I expanded my garden, and because I expanded my garden, that means that I've added a whole lot of things to the garden, and it's all blooming, it's all taken off. But there's no such thing as a perfect garden, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing. Super excited about it, so I'm gonna just jump right into it. So on the last I think it was, I can't remember the date, I'm sorry. The last video I showed you guys how to actually plant bare root fruit trees. So I did have fruit trees added to my garden this year, and right now I have a total of 12, and I was like super crazy. But my whole thing was to just try to incorporate enough healthy foods for us so that we would not have to worry about any blemish fruit and any pesticides or anything in the food. So without further ado, I just kind of want to show you guys. First, I'm going to start in my raised beds and then make my way back up to the area where I have my fruit trees. I'm still trying to find an area out in my garden to put them where they actually get the proper sunlight, the proper shade, and as well as not block the sprinkler system. So we just got an irrigation system, which is helping me out tremendously because I don't have to come out here with a water hose and do anything. So I'm super excited about that. It's like a big weight, and the flowers in the garden, it's loving it. So I'll definitely show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna flip you around here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So as you can see, everything is taking off. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So I'm super excited about it. I'm trying to get this video in before the rain actually starts because it's supposed to sprinkle, and I don't want to be out here. But anyway, so I have 12 beds and everything is just like looking wonderful, lush and green. So my cucumbers, to me, it's feeling like they're very slow, but I mean at the same time they're growing, and I planted more for succession growing so that I can have more develop as the old ones die off. So it's, sorry, this is like my seat, but it's a completely just bed full of them. I still have some spots for some of the ones that did not germinate that I need to go and plug some spots back into it, or I might just move my watermelon in this bed. Now if you don't know, watermelon, their roots, they don't really like to be moved around a lot. So but I have them in an area where I really don't want them, so eventually I'm going to have to move them, but we'll see for now. But I may end up, this may be like plugging in some of the spots that I did not get germination from some of the seeds. And then I got this pretty cool trellis from Lowe's. I think it was like $14. Yes, I got the small side in because I wanted to hang big up top, or I guess be wider at top than it is at the bottom. So I'm very much aware how I got that in there. So I purchased some other flowers too, some geraniums. Now I actually love the way that these look. Some of them have died back, as you can see, and then some are still like in bloom. these are, I think, the Cascade geraniums, and I've not been able to find any more. I found a total of 4 plants, and the funny story is when I went to go and purchase these, one of the ladies in Lowe's saw that I had them, and she asked me where did I get them from. When I turned around, she had like a basket full of them, and I was like, oh no. So I have not been able to find any more that look like this. So yeah, but that's what they look like, and I think the color is just beautiful, the way that it fills out. And last year, I think in my garden I had yellow in the garden for the marigold. So this year I wanted to add a little pink into my garden. I can see it sprinkling, so I guess I'll have to make this video fairly quick. But this is the bed that I have all of my cucumbers in, and then this bed over here is where I have all of my onions. Now I'm gonna sit here for a minute. I'm gonna say this. Now for this particular bed, I am very proud of it. Don't get me wrong, I am extremely proud of it. But one thing that I've been noticing is this right here. So try to zoom in the best way that I can. This is like a going to flower. So I know with the heat and the temps and everything rising, there's a possibility that everything is going to go to flower. You know, so the time is limited. However, these are not supposed to be going to flower. Look at that. I mean, like, the stalk isn't that big, and in all fairness, I'm going to slip on my glove here. I think I made the worst mistake that any person can make when it comes to, you know, onions or anything like that. And the reason why I say that is because, you guys, I was expecting to get like the big bulb onions. Instead, I went back and read the description after these have been purchased, and they don't get that size. So that was like extremely disappointing for me. And I mean, I've not really ever shopped at this place before, but I did get them from Gurney's. I've not had very good success with ordering things from Gurney's. If you have, that's great. Let me know what you've purchased and what worked for you, but I've not had any good chances or success rates when I've purchased from them. Don't get me wrong, the actual onions, I mean, they're growing, they're doing great, and I do have to pull them, mainly because I did come out here and pull some of them already because of the flowers and everything coming up on them. So if you look down here, I kind of mixed the bed with some of the ones that I got from Stark Bros. Now the ones that I got from Stark Bros are starting to actually have a bulb on them. It's not like an actual like, I guess, a globe. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I know it's just kind of like rambling. So when you dig around the actual onion, you can kind of pretty much get an idea about what size the onion is going to be. This is what I'm talking about with these. So more than likely, I planted about 240 onions, and I think about half of them are going to end up being like this. Now I am going to pull this one just so you can see, because it's been in the ground since last year, what was it, October, when I planted these. I mean, the stalk on it and everything is like super thick, but this is as big as they're getting, and they're starting to go to flower. So I definitely want to go ahead and pull that one, just so I can, just go ahead and get it out the ground. And coming around here, another one is exactly the same as that. So I'm gonna see if I can go around here. I had to move from that spot because there was a spider threatening to jump on me. So I definitely don't want that on me, and I don't want to make a trip to the hospital. So this is another one where it's actually starting to have the flower on it. And then when I dig around the bulb area of it, it's not that that big. Like that's all that it is. So I went back and I looked at the description of them, and that's exactly what they are. I think that's as big as they're going to get, so I probably use a lot of those for tops. Anyway, enough of that. Well, also over here I have another bed, because I have a total of 12. Another bed that I'm doing onions in, like chives, the walking onions. This is my first time ever growing walking onions, and I absolutely love them. Sorry, finger getting in the camera. Absolutely love them. Mainly because if you've not ever grown them before, the name is, you know, designed to do exactly what they do. They walk. So in regards to the walking onions, you can see at the very top where they develop their onions on top of them, and then after it is developed, they fall over and plant more onions. So that's why they're called walking onions. So it will walk across this entire raised bed and plant more onions for me to have for years. So I've really enjoyed that. Now I got those from my gardener. I've been going back onto his site trying to see if he has any more, but I haven't found any more. And then here's another onion that's starting to have the flowers. So I definitely have to pull a lot of these, and some of the leaves are turning yellowish, but they again have been out here since October. Anywho, moving on. I can go on about that, but and then in this raised bed right here is where I have a bed of corn. As you can see, you know, there are different sizes of the corn, and I mean, it's doing fantastic. This is like my second year ever growing corn, and if you've never grown corn, to me it's easy. And when I say to me it's easy, it's, you know, I just simply put the seed in there, and corn is a heavy feeder. So you do have to fertilize heavily, you know, more than once with corn. At least that's what I do. But look how beautiful. I mean, they're like upright and they're standing, and I'm just so excited because I love corn on the cob. So, and then so the winter or the cooler temps took a lot of my corn out. So some of it, as you can see, is like taller than others. That was the very start of the corn that I had originally planned and put in the ground. And then the actual weather came along and got cold at night, and it took a lot of the corn out along with my squash, so I had to start over. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's part of gardening. You start over, you do what you need to do. So as you can see, like some of it, when you go down deeper, it's smaller, so that way I would increase my chances of a heavier yield, I guess I would say. So but yeah, so that's the bed full of corn, and I'm super excited about that and can't wait to indulge in that. And then over here is where I have like tomatoes and peppers and carrots. I did plant some flowers, but of course they're taking a little longer, and again, I think it was because of the cold. I think the cold kind of stunted the time as far as them coming up, and I guess they're waiting for it to get a little bit warmer before they actually come up. So but yeah, so I planted a bunch of carrots here. I mean, like rows of carrots, different variety of carrots. And some of the stuff that I planted here did not germinate, so I do have to go back, and this was supposed to be like the tomato side, and I only got one thus far that, you know, has come up. So I definitely need to go and gather some seeds and, you know, replant some tomato seeds. But as you can see, I did plant like tomatoes, jalapenos, bell peppers. So everything is kind of like coming up now because again, I had to start over. So I did purchase some peach peppers that I got from Baker Creek, that I saw one of the other gardeners, I think her name is Becky, I can't think of her channel, but she was growing them, and I was like, I kind of want to know what that tastes like. They're like she said, a peach flavor but hot. So I'm looking forward to trying that and seeing how I like it. But yeah, so that's the bed for that. And then over here is my asparagus bed. Now earlier in the spring, this bed was producing asparagus like crazy. I did get an opportunity to come out here and eat some of them, but you can see that they fern out now. So I mean, they're still putting up, let me see if I can find one, asparagus, but they're not the biggest, so I don't want to pull them. I think this is one. Yeah, I think that's one. So I definitely don't want to pull them because they're not, like, that fern is so little right here. So that means that the roots and everything are still developing. So this was like the second year. The second year, I think they said that, you're supposed to just continue to let them go. But I did harvest like a small amount, maybe off of this patch, and just let the rest fern out so I can get a asparagus for years to come. And then over here are more onions, and then these in the middle, they're flowers. Now I say this every year, I say that I'm going to label. I didn't label. I didn't do it. I mean, this is like, at this point I'm literally lying to myself about I'm going to do that, and I didn't do it. So hey, maybe we'll try again next year, or maybe I'll just say it is what it is. So, and then over here in this bed is where I have a bunch of squash, zucchini, amaranth, I think that's how you pronounce it. And that is for to deter like the squash bugs and everything. If you've ever grown zucchini, squash, or anything like that, you know how notorious the squash bug is. I mean, it's like it literally buries into the main stem, and then once it buries into the main stem, which would be this part right here, oops, sorry, this part right here, it blocks the plant from getting any nutrition. And when the plant doesn't get any nutrition, the plant starts to die. It is said that you're supposed to bury the stem, or you can use BT. Well, I really don't want to use anything as far as any sprays or anything in my garden, so I try to do it all as natural as possible. Also, if you're dealing with any form of squashes, zucchini, be careful because they are very prickly, and they will hurt. Oh, and also another thing that I did that I thought was very exciting, I did find, I'm sorry, I don't know what this is, some form of bug shell. Oh my gosh, that's the bug right there. Whatever it is, it was torn in half. Something ate it. Just making sure. But I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I guess once I get the package here, I'll be able to tell you guys. I did order a hat and some protective sleeves, and I know the first name is Farmers, but I cannot think of the rest, so I'm so sorry. I'll link it below. Because when you're dealing with zucchini and everything, it gets prickly, that stuff gets under your skin and it causes your skin to itch. But yeah, so, and then here's more onions in this bed. So, and then over here is a lot is going on. I hope you guys can see it. It is so sunny, and I'm hoping, I'm recording on my phone, that it doesn't overheat and decides it wants to take a break. But I guess if it does, I'll just come back later and finish the video. Here I have the actual elephant garlic that I do have to pull. So another reason that I have to pull it, for one, you can look at the leaves at the bottom. As you can see, they're turning yellow. And then another way that you can tell that it's almost closed, I did pick it off. Now I tried to pull the scape out, but wasn't able to pull the scape all the way out. This did have a garlic scape on it. So it's getting close, and I definitely don't want it to go any further. So a few of these had garlic scapes, and if you can look in there, there's one I tried to pull out. Now you're supposed to pull it out as, you know, close to the bottom as you can and give it some time, but it broke. I couldn't do it. So I do have to harvest that. And then over here I have my plant for grapes. So it does have a few on here. Now this particular one had a bunch on there at one point. Now what ate it, I don't know. If you guys know, let me know, because I'm like, what ate it? Because it was a lot on there. But it is still coming out of dormancy. And then back here, I'm trying to find it. Oops, found a bug. Trying to get them and kill them, because maybe that's what's eating it. I don't know. But back here, as you can see, it kind of have a few more back there for grapes. So looking forward to that, and the plant is steady growing. And then this is my parsley, which I do need to really snap that and pull that, because eventually what's going to happen is it's about the flowers. You may be able to see that there's a flower getting ready to head up in there. I don't know if you can see it for the sun, and you definitely don't want it to flower, because if it flowers, it changes the taste and it's no good. But over here I have like cilantro and everything. Now in this messy patch back here is where I had bok choy. Now I planted this as a deterrent for the bugs, because the snails and everything, they're really loving it, to keep it off the rest of my stuff, which it was working. And here in Nashville, in the area in which I live, we have so many rabbits. When I say so many rabbits, you cannot even walk outside without seeing rabbits. So I'll show you how I covered up the rest of my stuff, and now the rabbit is eating this plant. And then as you can see, there was you know, him or her, whatever it was, you know, dropping it off. That bald spot right there is where I had a tree, but I removed it. So over here is like my succession planting. So I have so much stuff going on over here. I have onions, I have beans, I started cilantro over here, which I'm going to have to cover because cilantro is a cold crop. It does not like to be hot. And then so it's just some lettuce that was eaten down by the rabbit, of course. Have not had an opportunity to get any of it. And then one portion right here, you can see, if you can, that he or she ate it all the way down, and it's not coming back. And then right here I have beets growing, so a bunch of onions and zucchini and squash growing right there. So this is what I'm talking about. I hate the way that this looks so bad, but I don't have a choice. So I will look out the window and see the rabbit literally sitting right there, eating away. This is the bed where I have all of my lettuce and everything, lettuce, onions, and beans. So I was trying to find a way to keep the rabbit from eating everything. And I also had sugar snap peas planted under this tower, but of course it ate it all the way down, and now I have to replant them. With it being so hot, I guess I'll wait until it gets a little cooler outside before I replant them. But this was the bed that he was in continuously. If you can see, I did start some Swiss chard again in different spots, because he was literally sitting on it, he or she was sitting on it and crushing it. So it was not growing, and I had to keep planting. It just became irritating. And then I have more beets there. And then the 11th bed that I have is where I have more of my geraniums planted. to give a little pop of color. And then raspberry and strawberries. And this is what I was talking about with the watermelon. So originally this was supposed to be my watermelon bed, but I decided, because they were taking so long to germinate, that okay, well, they're not going to germinate. I'm just going to use this bed for something else. So I decided to turn it into my raspberry patch. And raspberries and strawberries can grow well together, but what will not grow well with this is the watermelon. So I have to figure out how to get them out of there without killing them. But if you can see, like, the strawberries and everything in here is starting to flower. Those are all raspberries. And raspberry growth pretty much starts at the root and then goes up. And here is what I'm talking about. I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, one over there, 5, 6. Here's another 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I have a strawberry plant in here. So I definitely have to uproot those and try to put them in my cucumber bed. Then over here is where I have my strawberry bed. Now again, I so hate covering this up, but this is what the rabbit was doing. It was literally, if you can see these ends right here, it was just literally eating the ends off of every plant that I have as far as strawberries, and that is so frustrating because it's causing it to not do what it needs to do, and that's irritating. So I had to literally cover everything up, and it's starting to, you know, flower again. There are a few small berries. Now these are actually bare root. I just planted them this year, so I really don't expect for the berries to be that big. So, but they are starting to ripen. So I'll pick some of those. If you can see, it is back up in there as well. And then I have a blueberry plant and another blueberry plant. Blueberries and strawberries grow well together as well. So yeah, but that's pretty much what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to take you guys over to the area on the porch where I have all of my fruit trees. Okay, so you guys seen, you know, everything that's going on behind me here. I am super excited about it. So yeah, so I'm going to take you up now to the patio where I have all of my fruit trees. And I'm going to say that I probably went a little overboard. So again, before I take you guys up there, so I kind of wanted to see, like, I wanted to keep my garden as natural as possible. When I say as natural as possible, you know, like with the earth, I didn't want to add any, like, you know, any grout or anything, you know, rocks or anything to my garden area. I kind of wanted to just keep it clean with just, you know, grass around it. Originally I had, like, where you saw the spots, I had my first 2 fruit trees that I had purchased. They died and they got replaced, and they're doing well. But I originally had them behind there, but since I expanded my garden, I'm trying to figure out a way to incorporate it into what I have going on here. And because of the irrigation system, I don't quite know how I can incorporate that into it, because I don't want to block anything, because for one, we have like a sprinkler system sitting back off in that corner, and then one at the very front, and then we have them where they're spraying out and cascading my current garden to make sure it's water, make sure the grass is green. So I'm not quite sure as to where I want to put them. All of my trees are dwarf trees, I think with the exception of 2. Yeah, so they're not going to get that big, but I also don't want to cover any areas up. So I'm not quite sure where I am going to put any of it when it comes to that. So I don't know. if you guys have like some ideas or something like that, or if you even gonna watch my videos, I don't know. But I'm just putting the knowledge out there for you. But I'm just trying to figure out like where could I put it, like. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So, okay, so I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with them right now. I was thinking about putting one, because I have 12 and I have 12 raised beds. And originally, my husband wanted me to put each bag in the actual bed, but then that would limit the amount of space that I can grow. And I didn't want to take it out of the pots because I have them in like the cloth pots, and I didn't want to take them out of the pots because I don't want them rooted into the ground, and I don't want to plant them in the ground because if we ever decide to move, I want to take them with me. I mean, those are my fruit trees, so I don't quite know where I'm going to put them, but because I think if I put it in like this area right here, I'll be blocking the sprinkler because there's one like right in that corner. So I definitely don't want to block the sprinkler and block my garden from getting, the water that it needs. But yeah, so that's my garden, and it's growing. So that's what all I'm doing this year in regards to it. And I'm going to give you like a shot of the way that everything looks with the fruit trees, and then I'll show you which each one of them are. I mean, like, I love it. So yeah, so that's the shot. So I'm going to show you guys what all I decided I was going to plant this year. So I'm going to swing you back around. Okay, so first up is one of the things that I did. I researched to see if you can actually grow strawberries at the bottom of your fruit trees, and you absolutely can. So I'm experimenting with that. So every so often I'll put a new strawberry bare root, and it's taken off, so it's doing absolutely great. And this is one of the trees that I got. I don't know if you guys knew or go on Stark Bros, but they had like this amazing sale where they had their bare root fruit trees for $18.16. I mean, that just pretty much blew my mind. And I have a problem. I realize I do when it comes to gardening. I love to garden, so therefore, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So, but because this is something that I've been wanting, but this is one of the trees that I got for like $18.16. And I mean, and it's growing, it's taking off. I will have to get a stake to straighten it up because it was already kind of like leaning and crooked. But this is one of the ones that I purchased from there, and this is a dwarf golden russet pear. Now, it does take a few years for everything to start fruiting, which is absolutely fine. I just want to at least start the journey and then see where we go. And then the second one that I have right here, and now some people are going to say, oh, you have them too close. I mean, it is what it is. So I find a permanent home for them, I don't quite know. But this is the, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce that, Anjou pear semi-dwarf pear tree. So if you don't know, I have 3 each. I have 3 peach, 3 plum, 3 apple, and 3 pear. And then this is one of the other trees. Oh, and by the way, this one was $18.16 too, so you just can't beat it. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference, but the tree is probably taller than me right now, so it's growing. So this is great. And then this was another one. This was a replacement tree that I got from Stark Bros because the other one that I had that was out there in that area died. Winter was not very nice to it, so but it has, I mean, like, developed so many more leaves, and it's just really taken off. So but yeah, this is the dwarf Granny Smith apple tree. So I mean, it's growing in, and so absolutely love it. So that's 2 pear, 1 apple. And then over here I still use my containers. Again, this is something I'm trying to incorporate into the garden space, but again, I just want to make sure that I have enough room for the sprinklers to be able to water everything. So right now I am hand watering all of this, because the sprinklers, although they get the bottom of the bags wet, the trees need to be soaked, so they're not really getting that much water. So I do come out and make sure that I water them every other day, or like every 2 days. But anywho, this is some of the mint that I purchased from Lowe's. This is a sweet mint. I don't know if you can see it. And then I did some spearmint along with my blackberry plant. Now, if you go to my gardener's page, you'll see that he has a sale on all of his live plants and everything. And the raspberry plants that I have out there in my garden, I got that from him. And then he did cut the price on them, so I did go back and purchase a few more. I don't know if if any of you have ever grown raspberries before, raspberry plants, but they are like strawberries. And what I mean by that is strawberries put off runners, and they make another plant from the mother plant. So the mother plant puts out a runner, which creates a whole nother plant. Then that plant puts out a runner, so you have an abundance amount. So they're going to multiply out there completely. But this is a blackberry plant that I got from my gardener. Now, when it was cold and then it was hot, it did die it back a little bit, or killed off a little bit, as you can see with the leaves right there. But I mean, it's coming back, and I kind of have it sitting in an area where it's a little shaded. Like right now the sun is on it, but for the most part it's not that much sun on this. And then over here I purchased some more blueberry plants, where I have to go in and put some acidic soil modifier in this bag, mainly because strawberries and blueberries are they love acidic soil. So I do have to go and not only fertilize, well, I fertilized yesterday or the day before everything, the garden, the trees, but I do have to go back and put some soil modifier in these particular two. So this is one of the plants that I got from Stark Bros that was on sale. I think it was $18.16 as well for a blueberry bush. So as you can see, it's has its first little itty bitty blueberry on there, and then surrounding it I have strawberries. And this is what I'm talking about, like the runners and everything that take off for the plant. There's not a good representation of it, but yeah. So, and then in this container I did the same thing. So this one is a Elliott blueberry, and then this is a Duke. And then out in the raised beds I have a Chandler, and I can't remember the other name of that one, but yeah, so I have that. And then this is also the blueberry plant, which is doing great. And then the strawberries, some of them are starting to wake up here, coming out of dormancy, so I know that they're alive. And then back here I decided to make like a porch herb container. So again, those are my geraniums, and they are absolutely beautiful. I have not ever been a flower person in the to have flowers in the garden, but these geraniums are so beautiful. It makes me literally want to drive around to a bunch of Lowe's in Nashville and see if they have any more of these particular ones, because they are absolutely beautiful. I love how lush the flowers are. Yes, they die back, but as soon as it dies back, another one is forming. So I absolutely love that hot pink excuse me, color that's incorporated into the garden. And then so I did some rosemary, got that from Lowe's. And then this is my, I think this is, yeah, this is oregano. that I have growing out of there. And this is my round potato bed. So this is about, I think, a 15-gallon where I planted a bunch of potatoes. So they're getting close to being ready, mainly because as you can see in here, it's about to start the flowering process. And normally when it starts to getting ready to flower, you know, that's when you kind of know, hey, you're getting close, or you can go ahead and start, you know, looking around and pulling. Now, I did look in here yesterday, and I did see, let me see if I can find it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like digging in my raised beds without gloves. So I'm sorry, I have to grab my gloves. I absolutely don't like it. Mainly because I don't want to be bitten by something, and then that puts me down for my other projects. So, but I was looking in here the other day, if I could find it again. And I did see one of the potatoes on the surface. So now that I have the camera on, oh, there it is, right there. I mean, so I know they're forming. So let's get that covered back up. And still not quite ready because it still has a little green in there. And you cannot eat a green potato because that is toxic. So we're gonna give that a little bit more time. And then over here in this not raised bed, over here in this container, I did the same thing that I did with that one. I did put some herbs with some geraniums in it. And I purchased this pretty little butterfly. I mean, I think it went perfect with the whole geranium and look. So I thought that was so cute. Got that from Lowe's. And then my basil. Now I do need to come out here and top off my basil, and the reason for that is I need it to be bigger than what it is. I need it to be bushy. Right now it's like this little single, oh, I'm kind of sick, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life kind of plant. So the way that you would get it to grow out to be bushy, you would find the main stem and you would just simply like cut that part right here off, and then it'll start growing again. And then this is my thyme that I have growing over in this side. So that's what I have in those containers. I mean, look at that color on camera. I mean, like, that pink is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. All right, so now this I think I said in a few videos before that I was going to purchase some trees from Ty, Georgia. I finally did it. Finally did it. So Ty, Georgia plants, their trees are about the same as the sale that was with this one. It's about $18, like $18.99 or something like that. They're about 2 to 3 feet tall. So I mean, you can get them for, you know, taller than, you know, what I got them for. But I mean, like $18 a tree, who wouldn't want that? And then you're going to get fruit from it. Yeah, that's a deal to me. So I planted these a couple of weeks ago, and the growth on them, I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. It is taking off. So as you can see, I purchased, this is one of the plum. This is a green egg sour plum, and I thought this would be pretty good because I kind of like my plums to be a little sweet and a little tart. So I was wondering, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be like. So I decided to purchase it. But I mean, it is growing and it's beautiful. And then right next to it, I have another plum. Now I did get a Santa Rosa plum tree, and then it's taken off. And then in that one I do have a strawberry plant. So once it actually starts to send off runners, once those runners start, then the entire portion of this tree at the bottom around here will have strawberries filling it, and that'll help, the tree will help shade the strawberries, because strawberries don't like to be you know, in excessive heat, you know, or anything like that. So looking forward to that. And then this particular tree right here is what I got from Stark Bros, another tree that I purchased for $18.16, if I can get the camera to focus. This is a Bartlett semi-dwarf pear tree. So it has actually done well. and with the new growth. Now this next tree I kind of struggled with. I did not get this from any actual like Stark Rose, Tai Georgia, or anything like that. I got it from Lowe's. And again, nothing against Lowe's, but at this point, I would have thought I've learned my lesson about purchasing trees from Lowe's or purchasing live plants from Lowe's, but I haven't. So I'm always trying to make sure that I give the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it took a minute for me to get used to watering this peach tree. This is the Contender peach tree, and let's see. Yeah, the Contender, if I can get it, Contender. And it took a moment for me to kind of get the watering portion of it right, because previously this whole tree was turning yellow and I couldn't figure out if I was over watering it. But again, because I'm new to fruit trees, I couldn't figure out if I was over watering the fruit tree or under watering the fruit tree. And I was like, okay, what, this tree is looking sick, is looking sicker and sicker. Like, what do I do with this? So I figured out I was under watering it. So I started watering it more, and it's starting to get better. But you can see, like, you know, what I was talking about, you know, the leaves are turning yellow. So again, new to growing fruit trees, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm winging it and trying to figure it out. Now, the other two trees that I'm about to show you, I purchased from Whole Foods. Now, I was so excited when I saw that Whole Foods sold fruit trees, because I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to go ahead and get this fruit tree. I mean, it was only $24. And the trees that I got from Tai Georgia, Stark Bros, even Lowe's have put off more leaves than anything. So I did come out here and try to test and see if the tree was still alive. And one of the ways that you can test to check and see if your tree is still alive, you can do the scratch test, where you barely scratch the surface of it. And if it's green under there, we know it's still alive. Or you can, like, you know, test the moisture in it by the branches. So this is like a branch, you know, with leaves on it. One of the ways that you can tell that it's still alive and it's still flourishing is by taking it and bending it down. If it springs back up, we're good to go. That tree is alive. That tree is trying. Don't bother that tree. So the tree is alive. I know it's alive. With this one, I was trying to test it and then I broke it. Well, it had new growth on it and it's still a little springy. So I'll do this one. So it's alive. It's just taking forever to put on any form of leaves. I mean, like, these are the same leaves that it had on it when I purchased it. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this one. If it dies, I'll replace it, you know, with another tree from another company. I don't know. But this is the yellow delicious apple. Now, this other fruit tree that I purchased from Whole Foods is a peach tree. I don't know what type of peach tree it is. It did not have a tag. I come out here all the time and test it. I've had it for about a month and it has not broke dormancy, but I know it's still alive because it's super springy. So I know that, you know, it's not dead or anything like that. It's just, it has not come out of dormancy at all. So maybe it's a fall type of tree. I don't know. But if you can see the buds, I mean, they're just still there. It's no leaf growth, no nothing. And then this other tree I got from Stark Bros. This was one of my replacement trees. This is the Pink Lady apple tree. And it's also a dwarf variety. So again, they're not going to get that big. That way, you know, it would be patio friendly-ish. But I know that it's growing because it keeps sprouting at the bottom. And then too, I had a bunch of flowers, which was exciting but disappointing at the same time, because I did not have anything to help pollinate it. And the reason for me getting so many trees is because they all need pollinators, meaning they need companions, they need other trees to help them bear fruit. So I did get a lot of flowers off of this one, but of course with none of the other apple trees fruiting or doing anything remotely close to that, there was nothing that I could do about any of that. And this is like the weirdest looking spider I've ever seen in my life, and that's what I was looking at while I was talking, like, what is that? Anywho, moving on to the other plant. Now I got this one from Lowe's. Now it's a plum tree and it's doing fairly well. You know, the leaves on this one was also turning yellow, and I had to figure out how to get the watering right for that, and we're all good, we're healed. And I'm thinking, because I know a lot of those plants from Lowe's, they are, you know, heavily fed on Miracle-Gro and fertilizers, and it may be one of the reasons, and it had to get used to the soil and the conditions in which it is new, you know, now growing. So I mean, everything is up and running with it. But this is a plum methyl, and at the bottom, of course, I have strawberries growing. Now the last tree that I have, I got from Ty, Georgia, and I'm a little worried about it, mainly because I planted this tree the same day I planted its siblings, and I came out here and it's like a little, I don't know, like they're not coming off, but it's looking a little wear. And then, you know, I tested it and I'm like, okay, well, it's still alive. I don't know what's going on with it. So hopefully, you know, it bounces back with more growth. I don't quite know, but this is kind of alarming to me, because I'm like, what is that? Like, you know, why is it looking like that? It's looking sickly. And then too, I planted strawberries at the bottom of, and they look a little sickly to me. So maybe it's something with the soil, maybe it's something sucking the life out of it. I don't know, but I do want to figure it out ASAP before I lose it. However, I'm pretty sure that there is a warranty on this. I just still don't want to lose it. And this is one of the ones that I really wanted, and it's the Belle of Georgia Peach. Now, I went to Lowe's this morning and purchased a few more things over here. Since some of my plants are so slow for growth, I decided to purchase a few more things. So I did go and pick up a Tabasco plant, because I did not grow one. And again, the leaves are kind of turning yellow. We're going to pick those right on off of there, because if they're turning yellow, we don't want them. So I'm going to peel that off, and we're going to discard this. I mean, there could be a deficiency going on with this plant. So I definitely want to get it in the ground, get it some fertilizer, and get it growing, because I do want to make my own hot sauce. So that's one of the reasons why I did get a Tabasco plant, and I'm considering going back and getting another one, just so I can double my growth when it comes to that. And then next to it, I did purchase some more green pepper plants. So like a bell pepper is pretty much what this is. So I tried to find the one that looks the healthiest to me. So I did get the smallest one out of the group, just to give it a fighting chance, because all the rest of them were like leaned over. It looks like they were fighting for light, and I just did not want to have that in my garden, because again, I don't want my other plants or anything like that to get sick. And then I decided to get a red bell pepper. Now, I'm not fond of those, but I know that my husband is extremely fond of red and yellow and orange bell peppers. I, for one, don't like them. I don't know why, considering it's the same thing as a regular bell pepper, but for some reason, when I eat a yellow or red bell pepper, I feel sick at the stomach. So I don't know if it's the coloring, I don't know what it is. I cannot do it. So if you guys have not caught on as of yet, pink is my favorite color. So these are some shoes that I got from Lululemon, and it's pink, and I absolutely love it, along with my pink hat. So absolutely love them. Pink, I really love pink and purple, but more so the older I get, the more I'm leaning towards pink for any form of any color. So, and then here's a little bit more pink, of course, that I decided to add to the garden. Now, I'm a southern girl, so there's a lot of stuff I may not be able to pronounce, but I'm going to show you the tag. So these are about $3.98. I think this is impatiens. If I'm saying it wrong, please excuse me. Again, I'm just, a southern girl here trying to grow some vegetables and, attract the pollinators. So I decided to get 2 trays of that. And then these right here. I don't know why, but I've been wanting these plants for so long. They're absolutely beautiful to me. Now, they had some that were a lot darker pink than this, but I felt like I wanted to have a little bit of that green in there to display, what my garden is, trying to keep it natural with the grass around it and everything. So I just decided that, okay, I think this would be the best thing to get. And I know one of my neighbors has something similar, if not the same. So these are Heart to Heart lemon blush. So I decided to get these, and this is my first time ever growing anything like this, so we'll see how everything goes. But I think they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, I really hope that I come out here and see a frog or something sitting on the leaves, because that's exactly what it makes me think of, like a little lily pod. But that is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, guys, so that is the garden, and I'm going to plant some of this stuff, and then I'm going to pull some of this garlic, and then I'm going to pull some of these onions. So this is going to be an extremely long video of my garden, and sorry for the lighting. The sun is up and the sun is down, then it's back up again and it's back down again. So that's the reason why you may kind of see the lighting being a little wonky. So, but while I have you on here, I am going to pull one of my onions so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about in regards to it. So yeah, so I'm gonna pull this one. That's hard. So I'm literally pulling up the entire little brown part. Whoa. And that's not even that big to me. So it has a lot of roots, but not a lot of onion. Again, these came from what is that place? Gurney's. I don't think that I would be purchasing from Gurney's again. Again, they have a lot of root on them, which is great. But as far as the growth isn't exactly where I want it to be. I mean, like, look at that. It is just super lush when it comes to the green. I mean, I will use the greens for green onions. Does this not remind you of something like from Aliens or something like that? I mean, it's super amazing, but come on, man. Like, this has been in the ground since October. And that's all that I have. Now, as far as the smell, I can tell you right now, it is super pungent. And that's one of the things that it did say, that it's going to be super pungent, meaning a very big kick to it. And I believe it, because I'm smelling it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is very pungent. So, and then some of the roots are still just stuck in the ground. So yeah, that's the first one that I'm just going to throw down here. Well, I guess I should have brought a basket out to help me harvest. I'll get it out of the grass, because I don't want my husband coming out saying, you're killing the grass. So, and then I'm going to pull this one right here, because it's starting. Now, that did not have a lot of roots, but the size isn't that great. I mean, I have a lot of green onions, I can definitely tell you that, but my hands aren't that big and I'm not that big. So this is it compared to my hand. I mean, this is not what I was expecting. I was really expecting to be like, holy moly. But nonetheless, you live and you learn when it comes to gardening, and that's all you can do, and you just continue to go and you continue to move on. So right now I'm kind of looking for some that have already started to flower. I know that this one did because I picked it off. So let's see what it's looking like. Get it out of there. And that was a decent size. I'm not gonna complain about that one. Came up fairly easy. Well, that was decent. So no complaints about that one. I was really hoping that I would have more onions to go in its place once I pull those. But since I do not, because the ones that I normally purchase are all out of stock, then I guess I'll just have to wait closer towards the fall and get them. Now this is garlic that I planted from my gardener. I think I planted this like a year and a half ago, and it is just now starting to come up. It has not formed a garlic scape, but when you test the bulb out at the bottom, let's see if I can dig this out for you guys. You can see, I think it's a pretty decent size. So I'm tempted to pull it just to see. I mean, that's a pretty decent size. You know what, guys? I'm gonna pull it because when I bend the top is bending. So I'm gonna pull it and see what we got here. Oh my gosh, it's pretty decent. I have no complaints. Yeah, and that's a pretty decent bulb of garlic. Shake some of that dirt off. I mean, it's pretty decent. And again, my hands aren't that big, but look at that. No complaints about that one. I guess not bad for garlic that's been in the ground for a year and a half that I forgot about. So that's what we have thus far. And now I'm looking for any of the others that I've had to peel the top off. Just check on them, get them out the ground. Not that big, but hey, it's edible. So I know next year what to do. Yeah, or this fall, what I need to do in regards to that. So, and then we have a few more that have the garlic, the tops on them turning. But I'm going to leave those for now and just kind of keep an eye out for it. And I guess I should straighten this one up because it's just completely saying I'm out of here, and then there's a weed. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull it. So that's that one. Not very impressive, but I'll take it. It's better than having to pay for it at a grocery store. So that one is still pretty small, but it's leaning. Yeah, just gonna pull it. And I'll leave the majority of them here, let them size up a little bit. But yeah, it looks like those were all wound up, and I don't know. It smells excellent though. Like the smell of fresh garlic. Onions. I cannot wait to be able to get out here when everything is finally up and running. I kind of want to test this one because look. And this is some of the same ones that I purchased the last time. So I'm going to pull it, which again, it's not that big. Yeah. Again, you live live and you learn, but hey, can't beat it. Actual onion harvest, they're not that big, but it is what it is. And I'm trying to find what I was telling you guys about earlier. Oh yeah, so just like these right here, I got these from Stark Bros. If I can zoom in, where you can see at the very bottom where it's starting to bulb up. That's how your onions are supposed to look. They're supposed to start bulbing up, and then after they start bulbing up, then you're able to kind of, you know, get an idea what the size of the onion is going to be versus what I've been getting. So I don't know. I'm going to pull this one and see what I got. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it. This is supposed to be elephant garlic, and I can't get it out the ground, guys. Oh, that is in there. I mean, it's like corn. Oh my gosh, but look at that bulb. Yeah, so I want to pull it. I don't know how, because it's super stuck in there. So let's try it again. I don't hope I pull it and I fall. Give you guys a good laugh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is amazing. I'm absolutely in love with this. So, okay. If you've never grown elephant garlic before, these, let me try to get out the sun because I don't want my phone to overheat. Let's get in some shade here. Okay, these little bulbs right here, let me see, those can be replanted. I'm just dropping dirt all over the patio, and I definitely don't want to sweep. They can be replanted. So this is my first year growing elephant garlic, and I mean, that's pretty massive. So I'm extremely happy about that. So I'll definitely take these little bulbs and stick them back in the ground. I'll leave the other ones in there, meaning that one and the rest of them. I mean, look how deep that hole was. I mean, like half of my hand was in there. OMG. And that's amazing. So let's get that shaken off. Yeah, but it's great. It smells so good, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this all up on the patio. Show you guys what I have, and dirt is falling all in my hand. I absolutely don't like it because I don't know. Sorry, guys. The vision impairment is real here. All right, so we got two things of garlic, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 onions, and I did pull 4 yesterday, so we have 11 things of onions thus far. But look at that haul. I mean, hey, I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy. So I'm gonna sign it off right there because I need to go get water, and it's extremely hot today. It's probably about 80 something degrees in Nashville, and I'm hot, and I'm about to start talking slow. I have sweat dripping down my back, and it feels so gross. But I guess when it cools off, I'll go ahead and get these things planted later on today, and try to go from there. So yeah. Okay, guys, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching or tuning into this. Is extremely, I can't even talk, it's so hot, extremely long video of my garden tour and a little small harvest, and I can't wait to have more videos with you guys and harvest more food. It is so hot out here. So I'm gonna go in, sign off. This is Gardening with Tammy. If you have not already, go and like and subscribe to my video, follow my channel. This is knowledge that, you know, is out there for everyone. And, you know, take advantage of it, especially if you're looking to grow and you're a first time grower. If you're not, there may be some things that you didn't know that I knew, or vice versa. If you know something and I don't know it, I mean, like, hey, I'm open to any conversations about it, because I think I talk about gardening, about something is on me and I feel it. I just can't see it, so sorry. Talk about gardening about 12 hours a day. So but yeah, so no, but that's all that I have for you guys. And I'm also watching the walls that keeps butting into the window, just trying to make sure it doesn't come over here. But that's all that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with me on this very hot day here in Nashville. And I'm going to go in and get some water, some electrolytes going here. Take in my haul after. I don't know if I should wash it off now, because you're really not supposed to wash off. Just really wipe it off. But I guess I'll just wipe it off before I bring it in the house, because I just cleaned up and I don't want to bring that stuff in the house and have to re-clean. Who wants to do that? But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. This is Gardening with Tammy. Look out for more videos coming to you guys as I continue to go on this garden journey 3 years in, and hopefully, God willing, I have many years to come. Thank you guys so much. Gardening with Tammy. Have a great afternoon, morning, I don't know, but it's afternoon here. Have a great afternoon. See you guys.